Welcome back to the Detroit is Different podcast studios. And in studio, or I should say back in studio, with somebody that was like a back-to-back starting these video Detroit is Different year and year. It was like, man, we need like every year. And we won't probably get right back to it as we've had some very interesting pregame discussions. And pregame discussions is before we start rolling, we just talking. As they say, chewing the fat, as it seems like. I don't know why my grandma, I don't even know how that became a phrase. But one of the people in the world of so much in culture, events, and also, you know, if you go check the archives, definitely in the filming and so much more in creativity. As I always say, a OG, I think probably the more formal term would be like a mentor into these different worlds of how many things could be done and beloved in so many communities. Mama Njia, how are you today?
Peace, peace. I'm doing well, brother. Glad to be here with you.
Definitely. So, so many things that happen where it's like, Mama Njia should be there. Mama Njia should be there. Mama Njia should be there. And we're talking so much about like a lot of the events and the culture it is. So this has been happening for more than 10 years now. And this is just a piece of it. But so many other arcs into Detroit culture deal so much with experiences. I'm not even going to use the term event, even though a great event is an experience. What do you think right now, like at this moment in time, because you've been connected to so many different Detroit events, experiences, what's some of the things that you're witnessing that keep you so excited about what's to come with these experiences?
Yeah, I would say that so many of the generations behind me are doing so many great things. And we can see where the influence of the attempts to inform them of the history and of the skills and of the background for the things that they are choosing to do, we can see that they've taken that on. And I'm really happy when I go places and see these young people, you know, fulfilling their dreams and providing opportunities for the community to come together to enjoy an event or to enjoy a workshop or to engage in some skill development or whatever the occasion. I'm just very appreciative to see that there is a continuum and that the foundations aren't totally forgotten. That there's a building upon what has been in order to progress.
And in that is your family, yourself, your children have taken on some different arcs into this world of bringing to life different things in community, in artistry, culture, so much being brought to life in that. Almost like I want to say like maybe 2-3 weeks ago, someone I know that works in like publicity and stuff is reaching out to me like, do you want to talk to somebody connected to the African World Festival? Is Zoo? And I was like, oh, I'm like I'll be interviewing his mom soon. I was like, but shit, that's all love. That's all love. And she was like, no, I haven't had the chance to meet his mom. But I was like, yeah, she is one of the hell of anchors. But what is it like to witness your children move into worlds and realms that you've definitely walked through some of those doors as well?
You know, it's always interesting because when they're growing up, they swear they're not going to be nothing like you.
Hilarious.
And, you know, so it's always interesting to see them that what you nurtured or what you exampled shows up in their lives later. And especially when they take it on because they really want to, because it's their own, not how you force them to become a pianist because you were a piano player, you know. So, yes, I'm always thrilled with the fact that they're moving forward. And they're doing it in their own way, and they're doing it as part of the generation that they're part of. And their expressions are a little different, and their use of technology is a lot greater. And you know, so I'm really happy to see it happen. It's kind of fun, and then I show up to assist them if I can. I'm always happy to come and always tell. I'll pull cable, no problem. I'm happy to be there to see you do well.
Yeah, I remember it was a couple years back. I was coming to really drop a deposit with comedian Mike Larry to a comedy show. I want to say it was on the east side at the Detroit Rescue Mission Ministries location over that way. But it was a show that your daughter was putting together. And then I'm in there, and then I'm like just, joking with Mike Leary for the most part. And then you walk over like, hey, can you put this? I was like, yeah, I put the...
Because I knew you knew how to do it. I looked around the room for who can help her, because I can't do that.
I was like,
myself.
I got you. Say less, say less. That same tradition carried on. I remember that may have been. I know at that point, she was like, I don't know about this comedy stuff moving forward, all this chaos. But she had it was another show with this time. Check it out, Foolish and Just Niche. And whoever, I guess you know how events can be. Whoever was like doing the food, like didn't show up, and they were trying to like make something happen because it was part of the thing. I was like, man, let me go over here. My friend is a manager at Captain J's and Ham Trimming. Let me get 100 chicken wings and just drop them off because nothing's worse than our people expecting food with ticket.
Oh my goodness!
And food ain't with ticket.
It ain't there. Yeah, Khary, that's the other part for me that's exciting. And that is the collaborations and the mutual support and the reciprocations of support that show up in the community, and to see all of you young people who have grown up within this circle, within this village, to still be in contact with each other, positive, cooperative contact with each other, and supporting each other as you do your various things. That's another part of the excitement, really. Seriously, we couldn't ask for better.
Definitely. And I guess more so in a tone of honoring and definitely giving prayer to the passing of Ndidika, which really impacted so many folks. And with that, I mean, I think I can't imagine what that is in family, but in a lot of ways, Ndidika was like really stepping into a role of her own, just of like, look, if you want something done and you want it done correctly, that's where you can go.
Yeah, Miss Didi was serious about it. And they say you never miss your water till your well runs dry. And I just didn't know how many, you just don't consciously think about how many holes this person is filling, or how her skills had matured, and she'd become a businesswoman on her own right, and in her own right, and so it was difficult. Her passing was something I had to take a deep breath and move through, let alone the emotional part of that. But also the business part of that, where we had been business partners for some time. And finding what's interesting about many industries is that it takes a lot of different skills to be able to be good at something. And to be good at festival or special events or program coordination and curation and management, it requires you to have a number of skills. And then trying to replace someone who you've worked with for a long period of time, you got where you hardly have to say it, you almost throw a finger, they already know where you're trying to go. Trying to replace that person, you find yourself needing 2 or 3 people because you can't find another person who has all of those skills within themselves who is not already engaged in their own thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, that was quite a bit. I mean, it's interesting. The most interesting moments for me often are when someone says, "How many children do you have?" And then I don't want to just say 3 because I don't want to have not included her.
Yeah.
And yet I don't want to say 4 because I don't want to be like I'm not conscious of what is real on the planet. And so that's always an interesting moment to determine, because also I don't want to just constantly try to burden someone else with that moment, because then people are not exactly sure how to recoup from you sharing the passing of a child. You know what I mean? They don't know what's next. So it's always an interesting moment as to what to say or how to say that.
I couldn't imagine. But I know with that, definitely, I don't necessarily think it's like, cause effect or whatever. But if you do have the opportunity of bumping into Mama Njia out and about, it's Grandma Njia is way more in effect, more than I've ever seen.
Oh my gosh.
Mama Njia and some little homies is definitely rocking and rolling.
I got 5 grandchildren officially. I'm Mama Njia to a lot of young people in this community. But my children that I birthed, we have 5 grandchildren here in Detroit. And Ndidika has 2 children, a son and a daughter. The son is 14 now, just started at Cass, and the daughter is 9, finishing up the 4th grade. And I really want to be certain that I'm doing all I can to help fill in those gaps for them, and to make sure that we are supporting them to succeed and to feel loved and secure. So I'm doing more ground. There's a moment when you the grandma who comes, pick them up, take them somewhere, drop them off. And then there's that other moment when you're the grandma who picks them up and then they stay 3 to 4 days.
Yeah. Yep.
And you got to take them to all their stuff, and they let you know their gym shoes are tight. And, it's a little more than it would have been. But, we got to keep moving forward and got to take care of these babies.
It's so unique. Also going that like Mama Njia almost, she may get ID'd at the bar already, but still.
I be making them. Me and Ndidika used to walk into a bar or a restaurant kind of place, and they would say, "Can I see your ID?" to her, and then she would always look at me and grin, and then show them her ID, and then I would just stand there, and they go, "Oh, you're fine." I'd be like, "You don't want my ID?" And then they laugh. Like, what? What's so funny? But yeah.
But between that, it's like I've seen it where different like cultural places and everything. It's like and I guess this is just the experience of whoever has a parent or a grandparent like who you are, but especially like a grandparent, because it'll be, like a 7 and 12-year-old, like kind of like leading the way of Mama Njia through cultural things where it's like, hey, that she's
right. And that's been interesting too. My mother said this one time to us. I forget, we were talking about something about her being old or older. Don't tell him what rude thing we had said. And she said, "Look, you guys look at me. And so you see the changes in my face and you recognize me as older." She said, "But I'm looking out of my eyes and it's still the same to me. I'm me, and I feel the same me when I was in my 20s as when I'm in my 40s. And I really resonate with that now that I'm here. I really understand that, don't get me wrong, it's part of living on planet Earth if you're a human being, is that time is going to pass and you're going to accumulate years. That's part of the deal. But allowing yourself to stay alive, to stay curious, to stay involved, to be able to live through all the energy and capacity that you have and not have that limited by someone counting years for you. It's become a game now that I have to play. I just looked up one day. I remember when the first grandchild was coming. I looked up and went, "Oh man, they're about to make me a grandmother." It was like, oh, okay.
Hilarious.
Now, yeah, somebody getting ready to start calling me grandmother. Like, oh, okay. How'd I get here? And I remember going back up to Cass Tech one time with one of my friends. We graduated from there together. And we were walking up to Cass and we were looking like, these kids look too young to be in high school.
Hilarious.
And then we remembered back when people said that about us. And so, yeah, time is a thing that you got to work with. And I will say that in Ndidika's passing, I had to really get real about time. Because if my own child, who's so much younger than me could pass, then obviously I'm going to do that too.
Yeah.
And so what is it that I want to accomplish between now and then, not knowing when then is? What is it? What's important to me to deposit on this earth or to experience on this earth before I'm no longer physically on the planet. And that it got real with me, and I've really put forth an effort to make sure that I'm doing the things that really are of value to me. And luckily, everybody, all my children are out of college, and I got space before the next set goes to college. So those little ends that are freed up right now, I can use them to make sure that Njia enjoys what she's looking to enjoy in life, and some of that is the service I give through the things that I do. I'm happy that I can put $50 towards somebody's program, and that kind of deal.
Well, I can definitely say, for me, knowing you and everything that you've done in events and everything, it's like to see see like a 9-year-old lead you through a holiday market at Detroit SIP and talk about and kind of tell you like what's happening and how things are happening. I'm like, this is just like,
and you got to really be humble enough to allow for that, because I thought I knew more than my parents too, and I thought, they were just naive. They were from the South. They don't really know. They're not hip, so I thought that way, and also it is because quiet as it's kept, and we may not admit to it always, as the parents and the grandparents, we want you to pass us. We want you to what's the word I'm looking for? But anyway, go further.
Yeah.
Go higher. Go, get paid more. Absolutely. See more of the world. Please do. Accomplish more. Be able to tell us something that even after all these years, we don't know. This is absolutely the whole purpose of having a new bud. Is so that there's a new life that comes forward, a new energy, a new possibility. Absolutely. Do all of that. Just be respectful and try to be nice if you can.
Oh, well, yeah. Like I say, it's just, you know what I'm saying? I'm thinking about something I'm like, yo, she's organized hundreds of vendors and everything, but this 9-year-old like, look, this is here, then we going to go there, then I'm going to get...
And it's like, oh, okay.
I'm going to get some cookies here, I'm going to get some comic book over there, because this lady gets... Like, hey,
that's what I
hilarious.
Say. Most young people, especially children, they just need an adult to be the driver and to pull out that wallet.
Hey.
Other than that, leave them alone. They know what they're doing. They really don't need anything else from you,
Hey, well, I can definitely say, I mean, this was years ago, because Lord knows, Khalil is 24 or something now. But yes, one of the most, even in all the events I do, one of the most eventful things was taking 3 of my little cousins that were all, I think, the oldest was 11 to the Thanksgiving Day parade one of those years. It was like, I'll do this. More than you expect.
Yeah.
It's like, I want that. And it's like, hold on.
That's it. Remember when they used to make a joke about the mom before she'd go in the grocery store? Don't ask me for nothing. And it's because you're trying to make it happen with what's in your wallet. And children will just supersede and can't understand why you're not able to meet their needs or wants.
Yeah.
So it's,
I mean, even like it just, that was really great. And I don't do like a lot of children programming, but it was just great to like, and that was longer ago, but it prepared me a whole lot more. Then we went to the state fair and the zoo and I was better prepared. But like a child's mind and what they're seeing and what they're paying attention to, it's like, as an adult, you don't even notice, the big cotton candy person, 50 yards away. Like, that's not even in your consciousness. You know what I'm saying? You're thinking like, okay, where's a good parking spot? Can we leave? Like, I'm thinking logistics. It's like they're seeing everything,
That's
and it's like, where did this person come with the... it's understood.
This is what I enjoy about working with young people. Because you can't help it. You can't help but lose some of your attachment as you move forward. So, I don't know. I have my own wallet. So if I wanted a cookie, I can just go buy that cookie. But a child has to have a facilitator.
Yeah.
And they got to find somebody who's willing to fulfill that wish.
Yeah.
And so that's the same as like sometimes when people get to a certain level of income, they forget the reality of not being at that level.
Yeah.
And, why you can't just this and that? Well, why you don't just because? I mean, there's some reasons. All these different levels, including stages and ages, you got to relate back. So I love working with young people because they keep me current and present. I love that they ask questions because I'll tell you this example. We were doing Camp Detroit, and we had this program where we would hire 14, I think it was either 13 or 14-year-old to 17-year-olds in this pre-employment program.
Okay.
So this one time, this nice little sister, too, I saw in her a lot of promise. So she used to want to assist me, and I just had her follow me around doing stuff. So I give her this stack of papers, and I say, go to the office and make 2 copies of this stack. And maybe there's 16, 20 pages in the stack.
Yeah.
And she says, okay. And so then I get busy doing whatever. And after a while, it dawns on me that she hasn't come back. So I'm like, well, what? Let me go see. So I go to the office, and she is one by one putting them in there and making the copies because she didn't know about the automatic feeder.
Yeah.
And it made me stop and say, Njia, you can't assume with these young people. This is why they're in this program. It's so you can introduce them to these office equipments and protocols and carry-ons. And so I dig it because I like going back to the base of a thing so that you can know the root of a thing. Because when you know a root, you can innovate. But if you don't know the root, sometimes you can't decide what to do. Such as when we had our photography classes at Camp Detroit, when we didn't have much of a budget, we went out and bought those, I don't know if you remember, those little box cameras.
Disposable
yes,
cameras,
little thing. And so the photography teacher like, what am I going to teach the kids with this thing? I said, you can teach them about lighting and framing.
Yeah.
So you go out there and you have them, and we got bunches of them, and we can get them processed. We had a grant for that. Yeah. So let's take them out there and let them learn about lighting and framing.
Yeah.
And then when a gentleman came to us who is deceased now, good brother, his school was closing out their photography program because they were moving to digital, the wet thing. So he brought us the whole deal. Wow. We were able to create a room.
A dark room.
Thank you. A dark room with all the we had everything. Yeah. He brought the bottles and the paper. We had everything, including the little red light.
Yeah.
And so people would come to me and say, Njia, why are you taking these children back to this level of photography? Get the digital thing is what's happening.
Yeah.
I said, because they haven't been exposed to the root. They really don't know what it is. It's magic to them. They haven't seen the processes. They haven't themselves had to learn some chemistry. And those children enjoyed how interactive, how hands-on that type of photography was. And that magic moment when you put that photo paper in that liquid and the photo starts to emerge on the paper, it's like, wow, look what I did, And then it lets them, when they get the digital camera, now they're aware of why it is that they need to mess with that f-stop or set that aperture or whatever the conversation is. They're just more aware, knowing the roots of things. And that, to me, goes into this whole other sermonette that I have around us OGs. We are absolutely invaluable because everybody needs that bridge. It's helpful to know what it was and how it is that you arrived here. And we're that in between. I mean, I was here for a lot of things that a lot of these young people have missed. I mean, did not miss, but weren't on the planet for. And I can help to fill in that information. Also, I can, because of hindsight, it gives me oftentimes gives me some clearer foresight. And so when a young person comes to me and says, hey, this is what I'm thinking of doing, I can kind of look at past experience, see where it is they're trying to go, and I can offer something because of experience, education, skill, whatever it is. And that it's that bridge. It's always good to have it. If you can have it in your life, seek it out. I had mentors. I still have mentors. at this stage, there are people that I'm able to call and say, hey, I'm about to do this. What do you think?
Yeah.
It's because they have this experience. They have now retired from things, and they're now able to share. That's that whole African deal of having that Baobab tree with the elders sitting underneath. And you bring them some cool water, and you bring them a plate of food, because they are the wisdom keepers for your community.
Very, very much so. And and a couple different things to point out of what you shared. Also, like, just not necessarily personalizing all experiences, because at times you can end up in like, what's this? This is more European. I'm pretty sure this is somewhere in Egypt too. But like Plato's cave theory, in the sense of like you're facing the corner of the cave with the with the sun behind you, so you're only seeing your shadow.
That's right.
So the thought process is the only reality is your reality.
That's right.
That's a drilled down version of it. You know what I'm saying? But the one thing that always stands out, I think I've told this before, but one of the times when we're doing one of the rap tours in New York with the guys, with a lot of these guys from Detroit, and I know it's Sunday, we have to get to the venue pretty fast, and also knowing that like the hotel is in Secaucus. Anybody knows New York, it's like where the football stadium is, so it's like right outside in the stop. But on a Sunday, the subway stops pretty early. So it's like we want to get to this show, and I'm like walking through, so we have to like walk through Times Square. So I'm walking through Times Square, and my partner with me, Mayo, is like, and I'm like walking so fast. He's like, "Yo, wait, where you going?" And I'm like, I'm walking, not like I'm not like power walking, but I'm walking at a faster like New York pace. Anybody that's been in New York, they're like stopped, because like a lot of these guys, we had like it was one white dude, he's traveled a couple places, but other than that, it's like maybe 7 rappers, and of these 7 rappers, it's the white dude that's traveled, my guy Dutch that's been on like an urban vacation, and I don't necessarily think incarceration is like going other places, and then I think one of the guys has been to like Cedar Point. Other than that, just like East Side, West Side. And most of these guys at this point are like 20 to 25. It's like I couldn't even like, I didn't empathize what it would be like to be like 25 years old, walking through Times Square and seeing all of this. And it's like relatively close to like when they're preparing like for the ball drop and all of this stuff. It's just like I was like, damn, I guess I didn't even think about it like that. He was like, yo, they ain't never really been nowhere. And I'm like, I didn't think about it like that. Cause it's like I'm walking through like, like I done been here, we got to get to the venue, this is the most important thing. But like sometimes just even the grounding of having an understanding and experience, and sometimes it's just not age, it's just like background and perspective. But this also plays out when we think that even to this day, and it's even brought up, there are many Detroiters that they're in the D. They may go to a couple different places, but seeing other spaces and places. And I'm not the biggest person that always thinks that traveling is going to be the best way to heighten all and experience. But it is it's definitely something that I think can add a little bit more confidence to traveling through different spaces and places. And this certainly reigns true in business as well.
Well, it's that same conversation. Everything is possible on this planet, man. Everything. It's possible to never go nowhere and yet have the most spectacular experience.
Yeah.
So, however, it also is true that I remember when the first foreign language was either French or Spanish. I think it was French in 7th grade. And because I was attempting to learn a foreign language, I had to learn those parts of grammar and past participles and whatever carrying on. And that made me understand English better because I had to really get to what was being said and why, and why it was being said, how it was being said. So yeah, this foreign language helped me to understand the language that I grew up in and was immersed in. So yeah, going having the experience of traveling to other places and having new experiences and being in new environments, obviously is very valuable. It is true that a lot of people talk about Detroiters, don't really go anywhere but from one side of town to the other. But I'll tell you this story. One time I was on this airplane and I was really, really tired and I was leaving to go to a work situation. So I just wanted to sleep.
Yeah.
And they put me on the aisle seat. So I see this group of Black men and women, middle-aged looking, young middle-aged looking folk coming on, and they were talking and they were all
so sleep was not about to
and I was like, please don't have these people sit next to me. Oh my God, please. I just don't want to get into this. And sure enough, there was
right there
a couple in front, the 2 seats here, over there. So they talking, And I just tried to,
lay it down.
To just accept and be, quiet with it. But the sister sat down and she started talking to me. And I'm going to tell you honestly, they just look like round the way folk, just folks from the block. If anybody had asked me, I'd have said, maybe they're going to visit some family or a family reunion or what's up. So we got to talking. These folks had met working in the factory, Ford or somewhere. And they had worked together for years.
Okay.
And they took 2 vacations a year together.
Wow.
And they had been to all the continents on the planet Earth except for one.
Antarctica.
And they, you know what I'm saying? And I forget this whole story of all these different countries. And and I didn't even go to sleep. The woman told me so many funny and really interesting stories about their travels and what they had done together and this, that, and the other. You wouldn't have thought that just quote unquote looking, you stereotype people. I stereotype them. And they've been many, many, many more places than I have ever been. And so that's why I say, but also when I was in my dating years, early 20s, and I met a brother from the east side of Detroit. And real nice brother, da-da-da-da-da. He had gotten a scholarship to go to University of Michigan. He ended up not finishing there because, just lifestyles and making that change, it just wasn't there for him. But obviously a smart guy.
Yeah.
But he had never been on Woodward Avenue to go to any of the stores down there because his folks were from Alabama.
Yeah.
And they told him to stay off of Woodward Avenue so he wouldn't have to encounter the police.
That's deep.
And I was like, you haven't? So the deal is that I had talked about this little sports car I like, little MGB sports car. I thought it was the cutest. And one day he comes to pick me up from work. He's in this MGB. He's bought the car.
All right.
So what had happened after that was that I would be waiting for him to come pick me up. I did live on the west side at that time. He lived on the east side, Kirchhoff and something. And he would get stopped almost every time he was leaving his house to come pick me up.
Wow.
And have to prove that he had not stolen that car.
Wow.
I mean, it happened so many times till it got just to be frustrating. Like, the heck, just get rid of the car.
Wow.
It was serious. And so, all the...
It is, as I say, Detroit is different.
There's a million stories in the naked city.
Yeah, and I mean, one of the more like, for real, one of my friends visited, she had like a vacation, something changed, especially from COVID, and sometimes she had enough credits to go to Portugal. She was like, I've never been, I want to go, I can figure out some stuff. And it's like it's a Detroiters group in Portugal. And it's like, damn, I'd have never thought. It's like, what? You know what I'm saying? It's like, damn, it's some Detroiters in Portugal.
And the young people now, they travel.
Yeah.
They travel a lot. So, but then there's always going to be somebody who's not traveling. I mean, it's one of the things I absolutely have learned about life is that everything is possible and everything is happening. Like right now, we sitting here chill, having conversation, da-da-da-da-doo. And there's somebody running from a drone with a bomb on it right now.
True indeed.
You understand what I'm saying? There's somebody who's on a plane right now getting ready to go to a fantasy vacation. There's somebody at the hospital right now, not sure if they're going to make it through the day. I mean, everything. We hear and we're so thrilled that it's 40-some degrees and somewhere is 92 and they complaining because it's too hot, and there's somewhere else that they're deluged with snow. So, it's everything. This is planet Earth, man.
Yeah.
And all things are possible. And what I'm attempting to learn as I traverse through all these years and time is how to stay afloat, how to keep it elevated, how to find myself at higher levels of thought and feeling and expression and circumstance, how to, build that kind of energy around myself that radiates and attracts the good and the best.
I love it. I love it. And in that, last year, two of like my team members connected to Detroit is different. One, Baraka, that's Yemeni, and then also Rishi, that's Indian. We're working on a project honoring you. They were like, yeah, it's like I think you know her. And I was like, who is it? And it's like Mama Njia. I'm like, I'm gonna be out of town. It's like, that's gonna be dope though. You know what I'm saying? So definitely, and this isn't the first, but you are moving into this space where many people are honoring the work you've done, the things that you opportunities you provided other people, and the pathways that you've shown. What is it like, I guess, moving forward, where like you've been one of the people that's created so many celebrations in honor of people, places, and things, and now you're into that position. What is that like for you?
It's very interesting.
Okay.
I'm grateful. I'm very grateful that the things I have done, or hopefully am doing, are of benefit to more than myself, and that people find something in it that they enjoy and, or like I said, benefit from. It's really, I was raised by this mother who was raised in Tennessee, and she's a real smart lady. And in Tennessee, they encouraged the girls to go to school when that was possible. So she went all the way through high school and was set to become a missionary. From her church was going to send her to Africa to be a missionary, and all kind of things happened. Then she was coming here to be a nurse, and that didn't go through. It's funny, we were looking at where were we at Ford Hospital the other day, and on the wall they have pictures of all the nurses from 1930 something all the way up. And you could see that it was later in the 50s when any black face shows up in those photos. And my mom had said she came here and couldn't get in to nursing school. And she didn't have a lot of savvy. She was a very humble type of personality, but very smart, very capable, but never told to have an ego about it. Well, she raised me not to have an ego about it, you know? And so it's humbling to me for people to honor me, but it makes me stop to think about what I've done, because that's what I say about Detroiters. We're never satisfied because we have the vision, and half the time we're only getting this close to it, and so we don't feel like we've done anything that big, and yet it's other people who've made me aware of the fact that, I'm grateful that I've had the opportunity to do a lot of things and to be around a lot of people. I just told a sister yesterday that I am going to sit down and outline my life and the things that have happened in it, the people I've been able to work with or work for or hang out with, and or present. It's been, and I've had such a varied experience. It's really been cool, because I get tired of repetition. I really like the fact that projects come to an end and then you start another one. And even when you're doing the same festival, it's never the same. There's always some element that has to be doing different. So,
yeah, I mean, even with the archives of what we've shared, I mean, so much has been explored, from like Congressman Charles Diggs to obviously, Nsorma and Baba Malik to, Thornetta to George Clinton to it's like just such a mix of, you know what I'm saying? Like what arc and when and how and in the start. And these are some of the stories you share, but also knowing some of the phone calls that, sometimes it's like hey, this, and this, and you'll make like 3 or 4 phone calls and other things happen that are a big part of like culture and things that happen in Detroit, So it's I can't, I almost can't even necessarily like see the path of like some of this stuff connecting on so many levels, just like across the board. You know what I mean?
It's a Zen thing. I always say it's a Zen thing, man. I didn't plan to be a events producer or anything. So much of what I follow the vibe a lot of times. And people think I'm very, straight-laced and organized and, and I feel so out of organized. I feel so lacking in organization sometimes. But I really do have both things going. I have the capacity to operate per organization. And I also have the capacity to operate by intuition and feeling. And a lot of times when it doesn't feel right, I'll hesitate, I'll procrastinate, and I'll be trying to say, Njia, girl, you gotta go ahead, don't. But I can't force myself to go forward. And sure enough, something will show up and show that was the reason for not making that choice or not spending that money or not going. So I have to balance both of them, both the intellect and the intuition. And I really seek to raise my capacity to be intuitive enough to rely even more on that. Because at this point, I really want to pursue spiritual culture with more consistency and for some desired effects.
I definitely think you've been in that, like you've been in both spaces in my mind, like even as you're sharing that, and it makes me think to myself like, okay, I don't even know how shorter of a list other than you would be on a like plan the route and the rally for a Red Wings championship, and then the very next day the rites of passage ceremony that'll be at the right post on Belle Isle for young sisters that are going to be not necessarily as connected to the African Center schools as some of the other sisters, but still of the family and community. It's like who's, you know what I'm saying? Like you wouldn't even necessarily like think of it. And I'm just speaking because I know, as you say, Detroit is different. Like we've seen iterations of this from what you provide. So like when people say, Khary, you do all this different type of stuff, and it's like, well, the people that I've seen have been doing way, you know what I'm saying? Like, we
are, I tell people that the way I identify my tribe in this world is because my tribe is born to serve. And sometimes you have to stop them. Like, okay, that's enough. You don't have to do that. We can carry the rest of it. They're born to serve. And so we have to be mindful, those of us in that tribe, that there are those who are not born to serve. They're born to use. And so you have to, awaken to that knowledge and learn that a brother said the most important thing you can teach your children is discernment. You got to learn how to discern. One of my advisors said, look, you're going to have people come to you because they want to be your student. So teach them what you can and send them on. He said there's going to be people who are going to come to you because they want they want to they're your peer. Let's go there. They're your peers. And so you can buddy up with them and you all can accomplish things together and then you go on. He said very few of the people who come are actually going to be your teacher. But when they come, you have to honor that because it's just not going to be plentiful in life that a lot of people are going to show up who can actually lead you in any particular direction. So I'm always grateful. When I'm able to teach, I teach. And when I'm able to give what's needed, I give what's needed. But man, at the moment when I meet a teacher, oh boy, that's, people say, you want to be the smartest one in the room. No, I don't. If it turns out I am, then I try to share. But man, I'm happy when I get in places where people are elevating my knowledge, elevating my spiritual frequency, giving me knowledge or food for thought that I can grow with and move forward on. It's, yeah.
Well, I definitely, when you talk about serving and being present, seen it without, didn't even necessarily expect to be seeing it for the celebration of life for Ndidika. It's like I've arrived there sooner. Usually I'm a big family hour and want to give something towards that family if I can. And the way everything kind of lined up, I'm there with your elders first before like other chairs get delivered. And I swear, like, they're all getting up to like set out these chairs. I'm like, man, can you please sit down? It's like, I don't necessarily know how. It's like we getting, like some of this ground still low and kind of muddy.
Right.
I got these chairs, you know what I'm saying? Just
Are you talking about at the back of the house?
Yeah.
That was a magical, very magical. And I'll tell you, Ndidi passed real early in the morning, but just before sunrise on the morning that she passed. And so there was some family and close friends to call and let them know. And so they came through. And so we just, I think we put it on Facebook or somewhere we placed the notice. Maybe I just, I don't know that I did it, but the word got out to some in the community that she had passed. And so what happened, which I'm going to tell you, I'm grateful. It was like magic for me, is that there was supposed to be we called a funeral home. And because of the time, because folks were coming through, so it took a while before I made the call to the funeral home that I had been instructed to call. And when I called them, she was like, well, I don't know, we don't have you on our books because the hospice nurse was supposed to have already set it up. We don't have you on our books. So the girl was almost rude, like, we don't have you on our books. And I don't know if anybody's still available to come over there or whatever. And I said, okay, thanks, peace. And I hung up.
Yeah.
And we had the room set up. And so I remember being a child, when people would pass, they would have a wake at the house. And the person would be at home. Because most of the time with the elders, they didn't, from the poor, humble beginnings, they didn't go to hospitals. So they would pass at home. And so folks would dress them nicely and, make everything positive. And then the family and the neighbors would come through. And so that's what happened for us.
Wow.
So the next day we got in touch with the funeral home that my mother used to be friends with the owner. My mom would be 100 and, she would be 105 this year. So she had known the owner.
Yeah.
And so we were able to get in touch with the new generation that was there keeping it going. And he said, well, what time would you like us to come? I said, well, is 8, 9 o'clock too late? And he said, no. I said, okay, cool. Okay. They ended up 10 o'clock by the time we were done. Okay. And then people called each other. The community came. Mama Diane and her husband went to Ohana Garden, brought all these chairs and chair covers. And we had some tables, we do events. So we pulled up, my husband and the boys, they brought up all the tables and people filled up the altar, and people brought so much food, and Baba Yao started cooking some food, and then next thing, all the drummers came, and there were a dozen or more drummers, And it just came. It was just community, family, love. It was so beautiful. And that was really, it's a memory that I hold. It was just beautiful.
Well, I can straight up tell you, the elders of your family, like after it was like, yo, I got the chairs, they immediately moved to getting on food. It's like, hey, you just not going to, gotta let them do what they do.
They moved me out the way. They took over my kitchen. They made it, they made it happen. And then there were two sisters. Their daughters were Ndidika's really close friends all through middle and high school.
Yeah.
And so they came. And when I came in, one of the sisters was just crying, and we went to get her some tissue. And she said, Njia, she said, this feels like home. She said, this feels like back in the day, this is how they used to do it. I said, yeah, isn't it deep? The Spirit made it so that we could follow our own tradition and make it happen, for our own satisfaction. We could be in a space where nobody was going to tell us, you only rented this for an hour and a half, so you got to go. Nobody was going to tell us, we don't do drums in this church, so don't do drums. No, we were in our own, and it was a beautiful day.
Yeah.
We were out in the yard. It was a beautiful day. So I'm telling you, man, I'm very grateful. Certainly, I miss my daughter, and there's, I have all the emotions that go along with a child passing, trust me. But where I focus the most is on what I know to be true. And that is that all of us, in my way of knowing, our energies occupying, working with and through a physical body.
Yeah.
And I hold that for her too. And yes, we wanted her physical body to last 100 more years, but it didn't. But we haven't lost her. She's still within our hearts, within our consciousness. I have experiences of, that, I want everybody to think but it's, you have experiences with those energies. And so I just stay on that side. When it gets to be a thing, I just go into the metaphysics of it and rescue myself from the lower energies.
Yeah, I would say definitely in that I certainly can't encourage or I guess what would be I can't mission to a person to go down what they believe, but I definitely think that that our spirits, as they say, it's like this is our spirit in a human experience, and that carries on to other experiences as time goes, and I'm sure, ain't no sure. We all will find out what that is.
Hey, there's a day, and we all gonna figure it out. Until then, I just make up what works for me. And yesterday, Dr. James Smalls was at Unity Temple as a speaker for that day.
Yeah,
and he asked the question of, he said, what is God? They say God is everything. God's the omnipotent, omnipresent, everything.
Yeah.
If God is all, then what are we? So, I'm working on that. I'm not on an ego trip to anoint myself as the almighty creator of all things. No. But I do recognize myself as a bud off that tree.
Yeah.
And that I have opportunity to live into that energy, that power, that possibility in this lifetime as much as I'm willing and able to do. And that's where I stand. Now, I don't talk about this too often except with the people who, again, are in my tribe, and we can have these conversations because I'm not trying to argue with anybody.
Yeah.
I trust and believe that all of us are where we're supposed to be, and we're moving through and progressing and evolving as we should.
Yeah.
And certainly am not, I got my 3 C's. I don't convince, coerce, or what's the other one?
Convince, coerce.
There's another C. I don't try to drag nobody into nothing that they're not into.
Got you.
I'm just growing and learning and experiencing my own growth. And every time, so far it's been true, every time I feel like, oh, okay, now I know. I'm on this plateau. I got it. Now I know. Just come and ask. a question pops up, and next thing I'm on a new search.
but I think that also keeps the passion and the curiosity for the experience to connect further. I often speak of this because I speak so much about creativity. I mean, it's not just in interviews, but probably even more so off. But like creativity, obviously connecting to the creator. So the realism of being connected to the creation of a miracle for others, or being a part of the miracle for others, I do believe is definitely possible. It's a lot of the it's a part of the where our mind, I think, sometimes limits ourselves of where things go. And as much as I share a lot of this, I mean, this is spoken about throughout all the time. And just because just because I'm saying like where our mind goes, I don't think it's as simple as saying like I want my mind to go to endless possibilities and that will happen. Some of this, I think, you just naturally move towards being in those realms, and back to you say like around the people and the settings and the places and spaces, because there have been so many things, as they always say, like truth is stranger than fiction. Truth really is stranger than fiction, especially the more that I get these stories from certain things where you just wouldn't think would have happened, and how it happened and when it happened. Like, how did that happen there? And it's like, well, that happened there. And and the other thing about it too is sometimes like where what one person witnesses, it just like, it may not even necessarily be impactful or hit them, but to the next person, it could be life changing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's, this is Earth. Everything, all things at all times. That, that's the brothers say sometimes we be looking for miracles and we miss the fact that, at one point, Khary, you were, 20 inches and 8 pounds or something. And look at you now, and you have continued to mature, to grow, and, the contents of your mind continue to expand. And, so this is a miraculous opportunity. This is truly a gift called life. It's precious, and it's not something that we are consciously able to give ourselves. This has been an opportunity bestowed upon us. I do think there's a whole conversation we can have about that, but somehow we end up here in this body at this time, having our life experience. And what I remember waking up about a couple months ago, and when I woke up, I just kind of looked, and because whatever dream world, I dream a lot. I get some real serious traveling vision dreams. So when I opened my eyes, I realized, oh, I'm back in this room. And it's Tuesday. Okay. Oh, I got to get up and do this. And I was like, well, yesterday I woke up in this room and I had to get up and do this, do that. Yeah. And tomorrow I'm going to probably wake up in this room and I'll have to do what shows up that day. And does this make sense? Is this something to just keep doing? And literally, no joke, the phone rings. It's my grandson.
Wow.
He wanted to know if I could do something. I take them to school. So he wanted to know if I could do something on the way to school for him. And I said, okay, that's part of the purpose of why I'm waking up here.
Wow.
Prepared to be able to support this next energy that needs, And so, I have big questions like, why are we here? What is this for? Big questions in life. But every day I wake up with enough energy to live through that day, then that's what I do.
Yeah.
Keep myself open to the possibilities. I think that is so important. That's why I tell you, that's why I really enjoy working with young people, all ages.
Yeah.
Little ones all the way through. I like the ones, though, that are at the age where they're ready to do something, because they teach me so much.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I watched a little baby the other day. The baby couldn't walk.
Mm.
And it dawned on me that this infant, not that no issue with the baby
Mm.
baby was an infant. They can't walk. And they're going to have to throw themselves up on their two legs one day and make it happen.
Mm.
But until then, we got to carry them around and help them out. And just remembering the stages, remembering what it takes, remembering that, you know, you got to be grateful for the fact that, shoot, I bet you didn't wake up this morning and tell your heart to start pumping.
Yeah, no.
You know what I'm saying?
Breathe.
And thank goodness you didn't, because it needed to pump all night, right?
Yeah. So many things.
Yes, it's this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I mean, last night I'm with my homie, his lady, their daughter's 3, but just it's like a what would I say? It's like inside the explorative mind of a 3-year-old and the curiosity of like everything. We're playing so I like real dominoes, that's what I'm saying, right? But it's like, I guess these animal dominoes where like you match with whatever, like the bird with the bird heads. And everything. Yeah. So it's like, I'm talking, it's like it had like, it's back to like it gets me even thinking, because it's like, all right, I just told this 3-year-old, like, okay, so this is like real dominoes. And it's like it's like, what are you talking about, real dominoes? This is the real dominoes that I know. What are you talking about? So I was like, okay, wait, talk about. So I had to think to myself, like, how do I communicate to a 3-year-old even like how I play dominoes, which tracks me back to like, you know, learning to play dominoes myself at shout out to Tyark and DR and all of them, but the Blues House years ago, you know what I'm saying? And like, okay, so you wash them and you know, and then also the beauty of a 3-year-old too is when the information they really want to accept, they're there. Right. But then the minute it's like, oh, whatever you saying, I'm not checking for no more. They're out. You know, they haven't learned the human behavior of sitting there and being like,
they don't.
And they're like,
we had a women's circle one time, and we were all in this circle having this very deeply felt, you know, thoughts and sharing. And in the other room, we had hired a couple younger women to keep the babies. And we're in there going in, and we were at this one of these moments of deep sharing. And one of the little 2-year-old boys, he walks out of the room and comes into where we are. And he just walks in. The sister's still talking her deepness. And he walks into the middle of the circle. And he looked around. And he took his shirt and pulled it over his head. And he just stood there with the shirt over his head for a few seconds. Then he pulled it down, looked around and walked out. It made everybody crack up.
Yeah.
And it helped to break the seriousness. Like, come on, ladies. Okay, we're sharing some things that are deep, but we don't have to make ourselves morbid about it. You know, we can. And I love the example of just the freeness of that child. He hadn't yet been taught that he had to show certain mannerisms.
Like
manners.
human interaction.
He could do his thing, and he was free to do his thing. And sometimes you need a reminder that is possible, that you can just be free to be you, that you could just have your own thought, that you don't have to follow the herd. You know, you could just be freed up. And that's why I was telling somebody today, when George Clinton put that song out back when I was very, you know, somewhere, I think I was a young teenager when that song first came out. And he said, free your mind and your ass will follow. And I had to think about that. Like, what does he mean?
Hilarious.
And it was really something for me to think about, because I was a very serious youth. And it was helpful for me to learn how to free my mind and allow myself to just open up to more and not be stuck in only what I had been shown or taught, but to open up to further possibilities. That was...
Well, in that same arc, I'm going to shout out, as you talk about spirits always being with you, but her and my Aunt Ruth been with me more. But my favorite Capricorn, Granny. Shout out to Granny, rest in peace. Granny was always like one of the people that she sometimes be so real and logical about things because, back to like you always say and different things. And I remember and sometimes, I mean, she would make most grievances that she had were very logical and you follow, but you got an elder in your family. You want to like be more encouraging and, all of this stuff. But during the time in Cincinnati, it was one of the neighbors, or as I say, how do we say this? Part of the black collar economy that sometimes can be prevalent in our communities. And some things happened, like it was like some raids and all of that stuff, like into the apartment building and all of that stuff. So everybody else is like, Granny only listen to you. You gotta talk to her. I'm like, she don't be listening to me. I'm like, I just accept what it is. And I probably even said this, like she had so much, like it would just be like, just drill down logic. And one of those times she fell and she's in this, she's in a, like in a treatment healing center or whatever. And so she's in another space and like everything about this space, like the stuff online, the brochures, you talk to the people, they're giving you the reports and all of that stuff. So I finally go down there to visit her. And she was like, you gonna take me to Red Lobster? I was like, hey, wherever you want to go, I got you. You know what I'm saying? And she was like, and let me tell you, I don't really like this place. And I talked, like going through this place, everything was cool. I'm thinking, it's probably because she can't get her cigarettes, right? And this is where you learn so much more about elder care and stuff. So then I'm like, look, it seemed kind of cool to me. I just think it's probably the smoking. And she just looked at me, right? A white man across the hall stands up and he just drops his pants. So I don't know what spectrum, like, is this like, something cognitive or physical? And the way that the staff really necessarily didn't have a response to this. So I look and I see that. And it's like, I just feel Granny looking at me, right? And then I look at her and then she just like, what'd I tell you? And I was like, Granny's hilarious. So she was like, yep, I'm not about to. So now we're going to listen the whole time through. So I ain't about to be having this walker when we go to Red Lobster or whatever. I'm going to do it how I want to do it. I was like, hey, if we following your rules, we following your rules, because it's like, sometimes people know.
This world is something else. This world is something else. Like right now, so many things that are going on in this world, being allowed to go on in this world, being supported, to happen in this world, are things that if I had written those in a script, people would have said, oh, Njia, that's crazy. That'll never happen. That could never be. And yet it is. So, like, I hope that as I continue to add on years, that I stay in a space that allows me to definitely say the things that I feel need to be said.
Well, I definitely applaud that. And I'm so grateful that once again you came back here. It's been a long time.
Well, the invitation was much appreciated, bro.
Always. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Right. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Peace.